Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 72nd episode of Concerned Dabs Podcast. I'm your host, Katie M. Kane. My guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I am a guest in his spot at Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit Podcast. He is the host. He is also known as Han Cholo, also known as George Lopez, also known as True Justice, aka my homie, TJ Regalado.
What's up, bro?
What up, man?
Man, happy to have you back. Happy you have me back.
Yeah, man. Thanks,
Yeah.
man. It's so dope being in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. And we got to do the fight podcast last night. Shout out to On One and Big P.
Yeah. I was hoping they could join us tonight, but they weren't able to make it. So
Yeah, the coil was messing up in the caddy. On One said so.
car problems.
Yeah, order that part, man. So I guess the focus on the flyer said that you were going to talk about your podcast, and then you also have some new music projects coming out. So
Yeah.
I don't want to adhere to a schedule too much, dude. I like freestyling it. So what episode are you guys on the podcast, and how's it been going, man? Like,
We just wrapped up episode 16. It's been going fantastic. Because I believe last time I was on your show, I didn't have a podcast yet, right?
nope.
Yeah. So, um,
Got it.
yeah, we got it moving pretty good. That was one of the benefits of COVID-19, I think.
More time.
Yeah, bored and trying to figure out what to do, and yeah, just finally put everything in motion. It's been unbelievable. I love it. I never
Yeah.
thought I'd find something better that I enjoyed than making music, and I think podcasting has been it actually. So
I agree wholeheartedly, bro. Like it is. Like I still like doing music, but fuck, this shit just floats my boat, man.
yeah,
Like talking earlier about the human aspects of typing messages online,
yeah,
and it's like we'd rather talk about it on the show
yeah,
because it is more information and more emotion, and people learn, I think,
yeah.
than reading the
Absolutely.
words online. And fuck, dude, like I do, like I gotta do this every week.
Yeah,
So that I do music every 2 or 3 weeks.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I feel it, man. We didn't like set a schedule for like how often we'll do it. I asked you before about how much pressure you feel it takes on you to be like every Sunday we do this,
Yeah,
and but we try to do once a week. I think one time we did two in a week, and
yeah,
I I'll be honest, man. There's times I want to go every other day. I'm just like
yeah,
I'm ready to do it.
yeah. Same. That's why I try to volunteer and throw my name in the hat, man.
Yeah, because you've been on our show 3 times already.
Yeah, anytime somebody flakes, if it's an
Yeah.
hour before, man, I'll probably just be at home smoking bows. So it's like, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Show up, man.
And people love them. Every episode you're on is one of our highest rated ones. So it's like,
That's cool, man.
love the conversation when you're on the show, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You guys too, man. Like, fun to talk to people with similar experiences from very different backgrounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. It's natural flow. And I feel like we always get some educational stuff in there for the people when we're talking. They said they get to learn different aspects of it all.
hell yeah.
So much fun.
And you also, like we started out cannabis industry focused, right? And then it just so happened that more of the entertainment, music, and film homies were willing to coordinate and come on the show on a Sunday night. Everybody else was a lot harder to get a hold of and get to commit to a date. And so kind of entertainment and cannabis industry now. So we have a really diverse list of, people that we interview. And I noticed that you guys have the same thing and you don't really have any.
Yeah.
So, you
no
could do
focus.
whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I think is dope, man. 'Cause it's fun to be so, because man, it was fun talking about weed all the time. But when we'd get a break, like some guy was he'd be a musician and a weed guy, and so it was like, dude, it's so much fun to
Yeah.
talk to him too. You
Yeah.
know, and so you guys, you've had all kinds of people just in the 15 episodes, right?
Yeah, we've had we've had some, of course, some hip hop artists. We've had comedian, um, podcasters. We had some like
Let's get producers.
yeah,
Beat
yep.
guys.
Yeah, we had a
Moses
recording
was on it?
producer, yeah, beat producer. Then we had like I don't even know what we Sandy Jefferson came on, and she runs a page called like Marijuana Madams. So it's like she just really likes to shed light on
Sex
the
work.
the normal female, what she described as like the normal average female that smokes weed too, because she said the industry was he's advertising like these sexy women,
Yeah.
the standard of sexy women smoking weed. And she's like, what about the regular women that smoke weed? So
Yeah.
she started this page, and so just had a great couple-hour discussion with her about how she got that started. And
Man, I'm gonna have
yeah,
to check that episode out and
yeah,
see if she'll come on our
yeah,
show,
I'm sure
man.
she'd love to. She's just cool people, and you know, they came out to Spokane from St. Louis. A lot of the people we talk to are not from Spokane, of course. So
Transplants.
yeah, so we like to talk to everybody about what landed them here, what their favorite food spots are. Um, but yeah, like On One wanted to start this podcast ago,
Yeah.
years ago, and I laughed at it. I was like, podcasts are for nerds, bro. I was like, I don't want anything. What do you mean? He's like, no, they're cool, and I wouldn't listen to them, and I regret it because we'd be episode 1,000 by now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
It's a slow grind,
yeah,
man.
we wanted something to bullshit on, to just because we love to bullshit. And ever since, the typical smoke break era of just like around, have a smoke and bullshit, those are always some of the best conversations of the day, that little time. And like, why not extend it without a limit then?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just made a joke, but semi serious, I guess, because I want our podcast to be like a blend of Joe Rogan, Howard Stern, and the Breakfast Club. Like,
Yeah.
that's the blend I'm looking for.
No doubt, man.
So,
I feel like I get that vibe when I'm on there, man. Like all of those guys.
yeah,
I also like Rude Jude.
yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
one of my faves. And then Nori, the super happy, positive guy.
The Drake Champs, is that the one he does?
Yeah, but I feel like he could work on his delivery just a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe he's super faded when he's doing it. It is Drink Champs, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I still love his show, and he always cool stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost sometimes it's a stranger he hasn't really worked with, but
Yeah.
usually he's like, nah, I was on the road with this guy
Yeah.
once, and he has like super dope stories, and I love that about his show too.
Yeah. Just having that place where we could talk without consequence,
Yeah, man.
brainstorm, and really, like, we talk about so much to educate people a little bit. We're not scientists or psychologists or by any means experts in almost anything,
No.
but we have input, a variety of it. So why not share it with people?
Yeah, we have unique experiences to each other
Yeah.
that we have to draw from
Yeah.
to share, conversation, and that's I think it's dope.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, man, like everybody, he's white guy or Mexican guy. I guess counts for white, but
Yeah.
I know he's got some indigenous blood in there too. But everybody's done music. Everybody's got Paul's like the weed guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a cool, diverse cast.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a blast.
It's a pretty cool cat. I didn't know he was on that Steady on the Grind song on
Yeah.
your album on track 18, Disc 1. I was like, no way, that's it, man. Like,
If he's got bars, he's on another track on the album too called Watch Her Go Club song.
oh, that's the one with
Yeah.
Cordell and
Yeah.
what was the purple?
I'm Purple, yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy singing the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never met that guy? That just got
No.
mailed to you?
Yeah.
Damn.
Cordell hooked me up.
Yeah, you
It's
gotta
his homie.
get him on the
Yeah.
show. I was impressed. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's pretty saucy chorus, right?
Yeah,
there.
no, it was
Yeah.
amazing. When he hit me up
Yeah.
with that, he's just like, you mind if my guy gets on this hook? And I'm like, I trust you. So yeah, and I was expecting something cool. Cordell doesn't come with anything weak ever, so, but I wasn't expecting that. I was like,
Yeah,
this is mainstream beautiful right here.
no doubt. No doubt. Album. Okay, yeah. So Chicano U-Turn. Can we talk about your new project that you have coming out? Is it out yet? Can people listen to it yet?
No, not yet. I'm still recording, so I just got all that figured out with some equipment, and so I'm actually trying to work on 2 final albums.
Retire into podcasting after that, TJ?
Yeah, and I'll probably do feature work or some singles once in a while, but I think I want to make these my last 2 projects.
Yeah, it's tough to do a whole one, man.
Yeah.
One song's way easier.
Yeah, I mean, once you're in your 30s and you haven't really path of like, this is gonna be what I'm gonna be doing, it's like kind of like, all right, it's really a hobby now. I'm just gonna leave it to that for myself, because I don't put nearly the effort it deserves to be a full-time gig. So, uh, and with this, I don't have the need to get myself expressed as often, but I have these albums written already. So I would like to record them and get them out there at least. So, Veritas Equatas is going to be one.
Yeah, that's Spanish?
Latin,
Okay.
for true justice or truth and justice.
Tight.
And then the other one is going to be called A Moment of Truth, which my son actually titled that one.
Dope.
So
Shout out to the boy.
yeah. Yeah, once I get those two, you know, I said I was gonna try to do about 12 tracks each, but knowing myself, I'm probably gonna end up doing about 21,
Hell yeah.
and hopefully they'll just wrap it up for me in that sense, and I can get more into the podcast. I'm still working on writing a book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Like a autobiographical?
No, I'm actually doing something weird than I ever thought I would do. It's more of like a sci-fi
Oh,
fucking shit.
what?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I never thought I would do that. But
Oh man, TJ, if you need anybody to proofread, bro,
yeah.
please.
Oh, I'll hit you up. I'll definitely hit you
Yeah, please, man.
I'll hit you up because I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm character building right now. I got a cool concept, and I'm just trying to develop the chapter works now.
And you're
that
gonna
was-
do a book, not screenplay.
That's what's
'Cause-
tough for me because I don't know the difference really. Like
Well, look-
everything for me is movie based.
Well,
Like-
okay, so my advice is if you're gonna do screenplay, shooting it.
Yeah,
Like if you have a bunch of explosions and fucking spaceship fights and shit,
Yeah.
that's fucking expensive.
yeah,
But if it's just on a spaceship and you can do it in a hallway
yeah,
and either do one long hallway and cheat it,
Yeah.
shoot it however, or green screen it. Think of those things when you're, because it's all about the
Yeah.
characters, right, and the dialogue and the interaction between. But sometimes you do need to show
Yeah.
setting, and so it's you do it for cheap,
Yeah.
TJ. You know what I mean? Like there's some really cool Sci-Fi Channel. They used to always greenlight a show that nobody else would do, and it's
Yeah.
like not the biggest budget, but the 4400. Have you heard of that show?
Yeah.
Set in Northwest. It started on the Sci-Fi Channel, bro.
Okay.
It went 2 seasons, I think, and then season 3, CBS picked it up,
Okay.
and you could just
And they got the
see,
budget.
yeah, bro. Like just the way everything looked was a lot fresher,
Oh, yeah.
newer, and more high quality. So it doesn't matter if you don't have that budget in the beginning. It's your writing.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll definitely hit you up to proofread it though, because I need somebody to. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I am too, dude. Like I want to hear that because that's the logistics of shooting the script we have right now is fucking tough. Because
Yeah.
a lot of it's at nighttime
Yeah.
in a location that's outdoors and busy. Like fuck, trying to, but we're still gonna do it.
Yeah.
So if you're mindful of these things while you're writing the screenplay, dude, like you can make it. You can shoot it yourself.
Yeah.
Written and directed and produced by
Yeah.
True Justice
Oh yeah.
or TJ Rego. Or
Yeah.
you could have like a different sci-fi writer name.
Right. That might be my
Han
Han
Solo.
Solo.
Yeah, that'd be sick, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Or pick up different things. Artists, we always need something to keep our mind busy. You know,
Yeah,
it's like man, we're losing it.
I agree, dude. And that's the thing I'm glad about moving back home is, man, I get to hang out with more artist friends that are on the same tip. Like, nah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, nah. We used to always have to like save up money and wait the time, and now it's like we pretty much got the gear. So
It's one call away.
yeah, you know. So it's like let's schedule a time and
Yeah.
do the work, man. So
Yeah, and I think about this though. My wife still wants to move out of here and struggle with that because
where did she move here from? Somewhere?
she was born in California, but she's been here pretty much her whole life. But
Where does she want to slide to? AZ?
somewhere with no snow.
Oh, AZ's nice,
yeah,
TJ. I want to snowbird the shit, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I struggle, man, because I could be happy anywhere as long as I got my people around.
Yeah, that was the issue with me down there. I had 2 friends, my engineer homie, shout out to Willie Animal, and my neighbor, CVN.
Yeah.
Shout out to C, man. 2 buddies. And paper making, paper chase. Like that was my homie from T-Mobile. He was the little homie, but he didn't come through that often.
Yeah,
it's like I got you, I got On One, I got a couple homies on CDA Res, I got my fam down in Lapway. Like it feels better to work with people who want to work with me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. It plays a huge role. It's like, and she's got the money factor in mind, or like the uh, more money can be made for her career somewhere else, or
yeah,
no winter. No winter sounds great to me. I can't stand the snow. I don't like Spokane specifically. Like 6 months of depressing weather, and that takes a toll on everybody.
it does, man. It
But
does. Like it tough to have a bad day when the sun is shining, bro.
yeah,
Like even if it was a shitty day at work in AZ, it's like
yeah,
fuck, it's still 80.
yeah.
And I'm gonna grab a beer after this is over and go home and chill out, you know?
Yeah. And so that's good to hear because, like, for me, I think about it, I'm like, the weather could be nice as can be, but if I don't got my people around to enjoy it with, is be nice.
I feel like you'd I got a little bit more family or extended friends from music down there that you could plug in with, but also you're Mexican, bro. So
Yeah,
we're going to the laundromat on a Thursday night, and it just all the Mexicans were there, and it's like fools were shining their rims, bumping their systems.
yeah.
The fool comes through with the 3-wheel bike, singing the corn and the cotton candy and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, my car waiting for my clothes to
Yeah.
dry. Like, dude,
Like, oh, this is the kick is swell.
yeah, you know what I mean? And like the guy was playing cool shit. Like
Yeah.
a couple, I'm like, yo, what song is that? Can I Shazam that? He's like, yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, cool. Like it was time, man. And I'm native. I'm not Mexican, but it just felt good to be around
Yeah.
some brown folks just kicking it.
Oh, yeah.
For the fuck of it.
I could relate, bro.
Yeah.
That's how I felt in Wisconsin when I couldn't find any Mexicans. I found the natives on the res, and I was like, my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
I was like, let's kick it.
Hell yeah, man. It was super dope, man. Good vibes down there. The other thing I say positive about that place is it fucking runs the yellow light.
Yeah.
Everybody drives 10 over and everybody's got a gun.
There you go. Yeah.
So it's
I've heard that about Arizona. Actually.
yes. So it
I wouldn't do well with the driving 10 over. I always drive about 2 under.
dude,
Everywhere.
so do I. When I got it took like a month or two of people really fucking aggressively
Yeah.
honking at me.
Yeah,
like,
so you gotta-
get the fuck out of this lane, you asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay.
I got pulled over for driving too slow one time.
Yeah, I did that once in Portland too on Christmas.
And I was just like, this is ridiculous. Are you serious right now? They said, yeah, you're being suspicious.
I was you're going 64 in the left lane, sir. I'm like, it's nobody on the road. It's Christmas. You know what I mean? And they're just like I ate a cookie an hour ago. You know, they're like, you're not supposed to. I'm like, dude, you know, I wasn't swerving.
Yeah.
You're just,
I was
you're
going
just
like-
bored. You're just bored on Christmas, so you wanted to fuck with me.
I was going like 30 and a 60.
Oh, damn, that's
Yeah.
super slow. Yeah.
But I was in the middle of nowhere. You know, it was when I moved out to Wisconsin and didn't people yet. So it's probably like, 10 o'clock at night. I'm in the middle of nowhere. So I wanted to go for a cruise. That's like how I got my peace of mind, roll the windows down, put some music on.
Hell yeah.
And so I didn't realize I was on a highway. So I'm just cruising because nobody's around.
Yeah. So what's the other project?
Veritas Equat,
And then
Equitas.
and then the other one, the boy name,
A Moment of Truth.
Moment of Truth. And are they both gonna be full length albums, or is one gonna be a
I'm expecting they
EP?
probably will be. I know they'll at very minimum be 10 tracks each.
Okay.
At the very minimum, I'm I guess they're gonna be about 15 to 20
Okay.
each total. But
My homie Jimmy Raz been sending me some beats too, so
Yeah.
I'll forward you some.
Oh,
See
yeah.
what you think, man.
yeah, I got so much good stuff stacked for it already. I got most of my features I think already sent to me. It's just one of those things where I just bored.
Yeah.
So like writing has never been an issue for me. I'll just write.
Yeah.
At a studio at home, I'd be able to, man, every three tracks a day, easy. Daily.
Yeah.
And then when I didn't have a home studio no more, and then going to that was the difference. Like, oh man, all of a sudden I got to pay for studio time. And
Yeah.
damn, that can take a toll on the pockets.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, I got to figure this out but that sucks when your art's getting limited all of a sudden now because,
It is. That's how it
yeah,
was when I moved to Phoenix too, dude. It was like an hour, and then it moved up to 60 an hour. And just like with rent and bills, I was
yeah,
by myself, so I just make the progress I wanted to make in 2 years.
yeah,
So after 2 years, it was like old lady said, "Come stay here." So like the homies like, "Yeah, go
yeah,
for it."
yeah,
I'm like, "Cool, all right." In just the few months I've been here, I've gotten a lot of progress
yeah.
just with music and the podcast too, man. Like, I haven't talked to in a while. Come on the show.
Yeah.
I forgot to say that to Big P on the show last night, but we were talking about. He asked if Tyrant was doing video game music. I didn't tie that question yet, but we had a guy, Brooks Bouchard, on our show in like January, February, and he went to high school with us, and he makes games, man.
Okay.
We couldn't say the company he worked for because we were talking about smoking weed and
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Too. Yeah, and so I guess he's still. It affects getting a job a little bit still, I
Yeah.
guess, in that industry, but it was dude like he these dope stories about going to school and then at a certain job and then getting the next one, and now he has the job that he wants,
Yeah.
making video games, which is cool, man. It's encouraging to know that people you pass with are
Yeah.
doing well on the path they're on now.
Yeah. Yes, flying here.
Yeah. The third man with the salt gun, man.
We got it.
Oh yeah.
Hey, when we were talking about the guests that we've had on our podcast, when you mentioned sex work, that was another guest that we had actually who came
Yeah.
out just to talk about her story as a sex worker.
Yeah, what was that like? Because I've been trying to coordinate one of those guests too.
Yeah, that was cool. We want to have her come back because she's not much of a public speaker or anything like that. And so since she never had like a platform for this kind of work, she was super nervous. So she had been drinking all day before she got here,
Yeah.
and so you could tell she was a little buzzed when we started. And then, and of course, that story in front of three dudes probably isn't always going to be the most comfortable right away, but
No doubt.
But yeah, that was incredible. She disclosed that she was, ultimately she was recruited and from the ages of 12 to 17.
Damn.
And she said just recently with all the Save Our Children movement going on, when she finally realized like, oh my God, I was trafficked as a minor. I was like, yeah, like that's intense. Like, how does that feel? Like looking back, but her story is interesting because she was in that game in Vegas and California for quite some time, but she doesn't have any regrets. She looks back at it and she even said that she was raped during those time frames.
Yeah.
She discussed the time when she was raped, rated from any of those encounters.
Yeah.
And she said that she was a willing participant. She didn't get any money from it at all. She just had her room and clothes taken care of and all that shit. And it was interesting to hear her perspective because I think as a man or as men, we have so much judgment upon that, whether it be jokes or whether to actually hear a woman's perspective that lived it was cool.
Yeah, that's why I would like a girl to come on the show because man, can you just answer our questions and tell you if you don't want to, that's fine.
Yeah,
whatever you want to tell about your story because there's a cast in that direction. You know what I mean? And like a lot of the feminist movement too doesn't always include that. You know what I mean? And have a lot of dancer friends online from working in Portland, and it's cool to see that they're still about that life and still include everyone else.
Yeah, and she talked to about how she would go back to that life and basically open up her own establishment if it was legal to be able to just take care of the girls the proper way to let them do what they're comfortable with without getting their asses beat, things like that. Because I'm a huge supporter of that. I'm like, that shit, prostitution needs to be legalized in my eyes. It really does.
Yeah, a lot of the dancer homegirls too. Once they got rid of Backpage, it's like that eliminates a lot of
Yeah.
the safety and screening process that someone would have to
Yeah.
make sure that they're safe. And you guys are taking that
Yeah.
away and making it really
Yeah.
unsafe.
They make it so dangerous. And
Yeah.
it's like the moment, as a father too, like I preach it even more because I tell my kids, like the moment you have to hide something or come up with a plan on how to lie to get away with doing it, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But in this case, they say prostitution is the oldest career
Yeah.
known to man. Basically, it's
Yeah, it's been
been around.
happening forever, dude. Animals, it happens with too.
Yeah.
Like it's hate on it. You
Yeah.
know, it's not my thing, but if to each their own, man. You know
Yeah,
what
I mean, yeah. If a woman
Somebody-
wants to do it, like, why shouldn't she be allowed to?
Somebody else's bedroom is not my business.
Yeah.
Man, you know.
Yeah. But you got supply and demand out the fucking wazoo. Like,
Yeah.
why not
It
regulate,
is.
make it safer?
Yeah, and it was like it was Netflix or Hulu or something, but they were interviewing Tricks. One of them was just like a super nerdy guy, and he was just like, "Man, I'm socially awkward. I can't go and talk to girls, but I need human interaction, and I am straight. I'm not gay." So he's like, "I look at it like a bill every month. You know what I mean?" And so, dope. So he pays his bill, and that's how he looks at it. You know what I mean? I was like, damn.
It's as simple as that, right? And then otherwise, like, still, I believe it with drugs. Doesn't regulate them.
I agree.
It's like I don't care how much I don't agree with like heroin use or how much I don't care for it. It's safer if somebody can go just in the store and buy exactly what they're expecting to get without the stigma of or the dangers they put themselves through to get it. I've just seen people do the shadiest shit to get a hold of the shit that's gonna kill them almost because they don't know what they're really getting.
Yeah,
It's sad.
Yeah, like a lot of those the fentanyl, the bootleg pills made with fentanyl and stuff too. Like people think they're getting one thing, but it's actually something totally different. And if you take it in this quantity, in this manner, you're gonna fucking croak, man.
Yeah, and then you think about as to emergency services, what that does for that shit Narcan.
Yeah,
the amount of it takes for training everybody to have it. The amount it costs a fucking bunch of money to get Narcan too. It can, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, like 4 or 5 guys show up.
Yeah.
Ambulance, fire department. You know what I mean?
And I don't talk to these people who have overdosed, and they don't talk about how they intended to do that. It's generally an accident. So if they knew exactly what they're getting, we could avoid wasting emergency services times. Can really move in a better direction.
Yeah. Pull up for that. It's like, nah, man, like it's
agree with that either. I do. So locking somebody up for using is the stupidest thing in the world. I mean, possession, stupid. But I'm a big believer in the behaviors that follow the use.
Stealing is not okay.
Yes.
Hurting
I don't give
people
a shit
is not
what
okay.
you were under the influence. If you decide to steal, you should get in trouble for what you stole.
Yeah.
If you beat somebody's ass, you murder somebody, rape somebody, you got to suffer those consequences. Regardless, that's the risk you take by using that. You can't you fall back on it and be like, oh,
it's not an excuse, man.
I mean, who gets this? Oh, I mean, they say, I don't give a fuck if you were drunk. Like, it don't fucking matter. You chose to do this and you made that decision, so you're gonna suffer the consequences. It's probably one of the deadliest things we fucking put in our bodies all the time, and it's legal.
Yeah, it is. I try to stay conscious of that too. Mindful of my limits and not try and get sloppy. You know?
Oh yeah, took years of practice.
Yeah, it did, dude.
And made a lot of mistakes, and it's still something I still to this day, like, because I still think like, do I need it? Should I bother? Better without it.
You and me both, brother. Yeah. You know, you and me both. There was times where we first started doing the podcast and on the call with Mitchell and be like, fuck, dude, I threw up this morning. Like I drank 1 too many beers last night. Felt like shit. And Mitchell's been sober for a while.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, he's and so he preach to me, but he
Yeah.
just I'd be like, I got to get a streak going, and he'd be like, that's cool, And then we do the call on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, yo, it's 3 days, bro, So it was report some progress to a sober buddy, and
Yeah.
of course I'd start sipping again, but I try to telling you, John, like
Yeah.
took too much.
Yeah, and breaks are good. Breaks are good to do, especially
Yeah.
just to find some rebalance yourself.
That's why I think you're dope too for not smoking cigs, dude. Because
Oh,
tobacco really, that's another thing that's like, fuck, fucking nicotine,
Yeah.
man. Like
Yeah, that's been a trip for me. Much easier this time, I guess, but I think day 29 or day 30 right now.
tight. It's a good streak,
Yeah,
man.
and it's interesting though. So I wear this Apple Watch so it's got my heartbeat and all that stuff, and it tracks my sleep.
Has it been healthier since you quit?
No, my resting heartbeat is significantly higher almost all the time.
Do you think that it will drop after a week or two?
I'm hoping.
Okay.
I'm hoping because I was going to be much lower.
Mm-hmm.
I have noticed if I walk up a flight of stairs, or in my work, if I have to run up a flight of stairs, I don't feel as gassed.
That's good. More breath.
Yeah, I can have a conversation with somebody once I get to the top of the stairs. But yeah, I just always feel like my heart is racing.
Yeah.
I think it's just adjusting to dealing with the normal stresses without that relief of going to smoke or take a break or walk away from everybody.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because I'll just go check with someone. I'm like, I feel like I'm just high intensity right now, and I'll look and my resting heartbeat is 115, and I've been sitting on the couch for an hour.
Word.
I haven't even moved.
Word. Yeah. Did you go to the doctor at all or anything?
No, I haven't been to a doctor in like 20 years.
Word. Yeah. I don't like going to the doctor either, but maybe some kind of test run. Because if it's still like that after a couple months, then
yeah, I'd be concerned.
Yeah, because you my take on it, because I know tobacco kind of restricts your veins. So if your veins haven't been restricted like they normally have for a month, then maybe your heart's just trying to push the blood through faster, because it's like, there's way more space to cover now. You know what I mean? So we gotta work harder. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it'll even out, man.
Yeah. Well, and like the app I use to track the days and stuff, it has like the estimated time of like when you should get your full, your blood pressure should be back to normal, your heart rate, your 2A, your risk of lung disease or heart disease, lung cancer, and then circulation, things like that. So that's been kind of cool to see. Like according to the app, I've only got like 30% of my circulation back to normal.
Okay.
So maybe once that gets back,
maybe when it hits 50, it's 70, you'll be like, because for dude, like I feel like one of these pictures slimmer. And I'm just like, man, I see pictures of myself bigger and smaller in the past, and so it's like, well, I mean, feel like you're gonna slim down, TJ. You'll slim down.
I was, God, my heaviest, I couldn't even, I was getting the error codes on my scale. My scale would max at 400.
Oh, damn.
And so I took that really hard. When I found that, I was like, this is not okay. I was probably 30 at the time, and I was like, I can't this, like, I got to figure out how much I weigh. So I started working out pretty hard, watching what I was eating a little bit more. And after 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, man, I'm still getting the error code. Like, how big did I get?
Yeah.
It was driving me nuts. Because typically my whole life, I've been able to lose weight pretty quick and easy if I make those changes. This time it wasn't happening. And all of a sudden, finally, I hit like 389 or not 399 or something like that. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So like, body and what I've done in the past to lose weight, I'm gonna guess I was about 420 pounds.
Damn.
And because it took me to get down to that readable number.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I got back down to like 376 and I was feeling great. It just took one fucking moment to drink my fucking night away, eat a bunch, and then just fucking, of course, you feel like shit, so you don't go to the gym the next day, and then you just fall out of it again.
Yeah, man. Getting in that routine, like that's my sister was always super fit, dude. And the couple months I stayed with her, I would walk her dogs.
Yeah.
And it was a few blocks, and they'd be at the end, and so it's like, cool,
Yeah.
man. I got 20 minutes in some high pace walking. You know what I mean? And just run to and from my car delivering boxes. So it was like feel the need to work out too much. But once I started more lift and not doing the boxes, it just I could feel myself gaining because I feel like age has to do with it too, TJ. Because I could lose it a lot faster too when I was younger, and just even with this COVID, I sat on the couch, watched movies for 2 months, and just ate. And I probably gained at least 20 pounds, and it's going off because I've been working more Instacart, pushing the cart around, and then delivering them to the door. And some of that shit from Costco is heavy as fuck.
Yeah,
So it's like, man, yeah. So I feel a little bit better and more on a good path with my health because I drink a lot of vodka too for those first 2 months.
Yeah.
A lot. That's not,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I started trying to drink vodka for a while because it'd be better than what I normally drink. I was like health wise anyway.
Yeah.
But I just ended up drinking like twice as much vodka, and I was like, this ain't gonna work. I need to figure out. My wife was on my ass. She was like, drinking's too expensive. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go back and OE then.
Yeah.
It's cheap. And she's like, your drink is not healthy. I was like, which one is it? You want me to be healthy or spend less money? It's like, because I got to make that decision. I could drink healthier, but it's going to cost us a lot more money because I'm a big dude who's been drinking a long time. So it takes a lot to get me faded.
Yeah.
And not that I'm trying to get faded, but I need to feel something, or else what's the point?
Yeah, trying to numb the nerves.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
And plus I'm a night person, so people are ready to wrap it up. 11 midnight at the latest.
Yeah.
That's my time. So it's like I'm not trying to wrap it up till 4 a.m. So yeah, I'm gonna drink more and more trying to get there because I'm not tired. And that's the worst crash when you sober up after drinking while you're still awake.
Yeah.
And then you're like, this sucks. You're like, no. And I grew up with a family who was like, no, rally, keep it going.
Yeah. It's 6. Let's go to the store, man.
Yeah. Like I can't count how many times we drank the night away until the store opened back up just to go back again.
Yeah. That's, man. I've to see I'd black out.
Yeah.
Because last till about 3 or 4 a.m. And then it's like once the pill wore off, all of the shit I drank would hit me at once, and I'd blank out. Come to 11 a.m. at someone else's house, and I'm sitting there putting CDs in their CD player and recording again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where the fuck am I at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where did I go?
Yeah. And everybody's like, dude, what? And I'm freaking out. You know what I mean? And I got like one homie with me and a bunch of strangers, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, you drove us here. You know what I mean? You drove us to the store to get beer at 6. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking go home, man. Like, I'm sorry for freaking out, but I didn't understand where I was at. So later, yo.
I hate those nights though. Like I remember we had drinking in one of my cousin's garages, and then I would sniff anything, bro. If you could crush it up, I'd sniff it. So
yeah.
I think one of my cousin's little homies had like a bunch of Adderall or some shit like that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, these work just like this. And I'm like, no shit. He's like, yeah. So we man, those things lasted us forever. And I remember we had Bone Harmony. I tried.
Yeah.
It's on repeat for hours. Like this, we would just have that one song on repeat for hours.
The Adderall anthem.
Yeah, that was just the shit. And then because we'd run out of cocaine, and then we'd be like, okay, what can we sniff now? So we got to that, and then I remember we were going through that time of waiting for the beer to be the time to hit so we could buy alcohol again. And this, you know what? I know where we can get some shit. I was like, where? He's like, can you drive? I'm like, fuck yeah, I could drive. I'm awake, right? Yeah. And he's like, all right, let's go to my res. I was like, yeah. And I don't even know where the fuck it was, but I drove this motherfucker all the way to his res. Don't know where it was.
Yeah.
we're in Spokane, so whatever maybe the closest res was, I don't
Right,
know.
CDA res
Yeah,
down
probably.
there.
But
Yeah.
drive his ass all the way over there, and all of a sudden I'm in this house where I'm like coming to like, where the fuck am I, and why am I here,
Yeah.
and why is this fool sleeping on the couch, and I'm sitting here wide awake? Like,
Yeah.
how do I get home? Like, I don't even know what's
Yeah.
going on. Like, they make you do horrible things. That's for sure.
Yeah, dude. It feels good to make smarter and healthier choices nowadays, you
Yeah.
know, because we're have happened.
Oh yeah.
We could have ended up in worse trouble.
Yeah.
You know, so I just try to be thankful and grateful. And
Yeah.
like any of my little homies, or because my kids are gonna grow up, you know, and that's I gotta try and tell them the same thing. Like, look, dude, just be a little bit responsible. Here's the shit I fucked up on. If you can learn anything from that, please do and
Yeah.
apply it to your game. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, like,
Yeah. Toughest too, because you want them to learn from the mistakes,
yeah,
but there's some mistakes you don't want them to make on their own. It's
hell
like you want them to
no.
learn from. That's why we made them, so you don't have to. Like,
Yeah,
take my word for it, because I shouldn't be alive. There's no fucking way in hell I should be alive.
yeah.
I passed out at the wheel twice, total vehicles without a seatbelt on. 2 times woke up in a crash situation
Yeah.
because my head hit the windshield. Both times when EMTs arrived, they said that there's no way in hell you should be alive right now. And it's like, I'm just like, light up a cigarette, and I'm like, like, and they're just, and it took me so long to learn from these things, because I just felt, I don't know if I felt indestructible, or if I just felt like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But those were dark times, and yeah, like you said, I'm so glad we're at a point now where it's like we don't have to worry about that, with healthier decisions.
Yeah.
Knowing where I'm going to sleep, knowing where I'm waking up.
Yeah, dude. Not winging it for a weekend, man. Like that. That's I'm shout out to my old lady for giving me a ride and picking me up, because it is. It's
Yeah. Well, that's why I love hosting the podcast here, because it's like, that's the
yeah.
ultimate safety thing for me. Is like I got a 10-foot walk to my house.
Yeah. It's a really nice space too,
Yeah.
TJ. It's comfortable in here. You got all the action figures. You got There's Bongs and Bullshit sign, man, and all the album covers. Like,
Yeah, I love it. It took some time, man.
and then, dude, like, once you get a couple of cameras on tripods and doing
Yeah.
video with the podcast too at the same
Yeah.
time, it's gonna be like Rap City the Basement, bro.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, you can even do like freestyle
Yeah.
circles and shit. Like,
Yeah, that was some fun shit we did. Like, Crown Royal, recording artist. He's from New Mexico. He moved up to the Northwest quite a few years back. That On One made. It's a nice little freestyle for a couple minutes. Shirts come on the show. He's a musician, recording artist, producer, engineer. He's live instruments though, so he grabbed acoustic guitar off the wall and just fucking kicked back, and he played some fucking riffs, and we all fucking did like a freestyle country song. Like, it was hilarious, just
yeah, that's dope.
yeah, just get the creative minds together and just fucking have fun.
Yeah, man, that's why I like hanging out over here too, man. Like, it's good vibes.
Yeah.
And then there's no drums either. It's like everybody drink this or drink that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody's pissed off at each other. But,
Yeah, we've yet to have an argument erupt in here, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody seriously opposing views
Yeah.
on the politics or anything.
Yeah, no, luckily I think we all share a similar opinion, or we respect each other enough to
Yeah,
hear each other out on everything.
no doubt. Are you is beers, bongs, and bullshit? Are you planning to do any other category specific podcast besides that one, or are you just gonna roll with that one for the future?
Oh, actually, you said that because I just did a little test. I called it like a test interlude.
Yep.
Called what did I call it? I think I called it Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit presents Truthfully Speaking with True Justice.
Yeah.
And
that was like the 8-minute one where you played one of your songs in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah, we're trying to do the test run to have a song play to see if we can play some shit that's actually on Spotify and iTunes and YouTube and all that shit without getting taken down. Because we want to start shedding some light on especially the region. You know, we want to be able to have
Yeah.
people send their music in, be able
Yeah.
to play it, and we'll do like our own little shout out to Urban Plugs.
Yeah.
Like when they used to do Bump It or Dump It, you know, we that was huge for artists in the area. They'd send their music in, have it go on the radio waves, and well, we got a full of artists who've been they know the game. Like, why don't we play it and like let them know what we think about it? You know, talk
Yeah.
about it, say, hey, you know, work on this or that's great, or pick a new fucking hobby, bro. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because there's inevitably gonna be something terrible.
yeah. There's always gonna be something terrible,
Yeah.
and we're gonna piss people off because that's what happens.
Yeah.
But
Honesty is the best
yeah,
policy, man.
our skin's thick enough to take it. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
and sometimes theirs won't be, but we'll find out. But with the truthfully speaking interludes, I, I like I was saying earlier, I want to podcast all the fucking time,
Yeah.
but different ball game trying to maintain your own conversation alone.
Yeah.
Like, how
It,
the
it,
fuck do you
it
just sit here and talk by
is.
yourself as opposed to having a table full of homies?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be something I'm probably gonna work on. I might, you know, have people come join me, things like that. But
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna use it for those interlude times where I'm like,
If you ever need an extra body for that one
yeah,
too, bro, hit me up. Like,
yeah, like,
because that sounds dope to me.
yeah, because I just like to bullshit still. It's like, and
Me too.
especially I like to talk about. There's so much shit on social media every day, so much news going on. There's always a subject to talk about.
There
And so
is.
it's like every day I know there's something to have at least a 15, 30 minute to an hour discussion about it.
Yeah. And
Just,
and I like to scour the local news too,
yeah,
dude, because there is little gems in there that
yeah,
aren't gonna get played anywhere else but this city.
yeah,
You know what
right?
I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe in Lewiston, maybe in Coeur d'Alene or something, but
yeah,
that's it. Seattle doesn't run our shit very
yeah,
much unless it's like a huge murder or
yeah,
something.
exactly. So, you know, I want to be able to talk about that stuff just to get it out because it doesn't know. I mean, for any, there's plenty of people who haven't heard beers, bongs, and bullshit yet, but it's like
Yeah.
our average length of an episode is probably 3.5 hours. Lengthy episodes.
Yeah.
So I mean, the first time you came on the show, we did 6 hours and 10 minutes.
Hell yeah. It was long. It was fun though. The time flew, but
Yeah.
when listening to it, it took me 4 tries to
Yeah.
get through it. I
Yeah.
couldn't listen to it all in one sitting.
Yeah, and I wouldn't imagine anybody really could, but it's like, but I look from those people that said they actually finished it, like they went back and they wanted to finish. Because I'm like, that's what's up. You know?
Yeah, that means a lot to me too,
Yeah.
dude. Like when you said I'm performing good, I'm like, fuck, that's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't think anybody would listen to that shit. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
like,
no,
cool,
they
because
love
it's
it.
6 hours. Like, fuck.
we hear a lot of good feedback, just especially you specifically, because they really enjoy getting educated about the Native American culture.
Oh, tight,
They
man.
love hearing about it because we see it misrepresented so often, or we see it. We see people that we know are Native American, especially in Spokane.
Yeah,
But as we've discussed, they're not really connected with their culture so much, or like the
yeah,
ins and outs of it, and they represent it well.
yeah. There's a lot of yeah. I understand what you're saying. I did. I grew up on my res, and
Yeah.
I speak my language, and
Yeah.
I hunt and I fish, and my bros do too. So
Yeah.
it's cool when On One asks me questions like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, fuck. So he's my rap homie, and we watch the fights, but he's into fishing
Yeah.
and hunting now
Yeah.
too. So I'm just like, yeah, bro.
Well,
I
you know
did
your
that.
shit, bro. I mean, like
Yeah.
I love talking with you because I feel like I'm always gonna learn something. Like you're just always gonna bring something up where I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, and you talk to other people, you're just like, man, you dumb as fuck, man. Like, I don't even know how I could talk to you. You're not one of those people. You're somebody who's like educated, experienced. You know what, you don't bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what you're saying something. It's because you know it. You're
Yeah.
not just throwing answers in the air.
No,
And
thanks, man. I appreciate that. I try to pre-fake when I'm theorizing,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, well, we don't know.
Yeah.
Just say this happened,
Yeah.
but it is most of the shit. It's like I try and read and uh, like, dude, on the internet is more fun when there's actual conversation.
Yeah.
And it's not scripted. That's
Yeah.
why I like the podcast shit too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's dope that you to say you guys learned something because we are trying to be informational and educational with our podcast. It was
Yeah.
more about cannabis, but even with the entertainment, the music and film stuff, like these of it, man, like a lot of shit. So did the other guests on our show. So it's cool to hear you tell the stories about the work that you've done because
Yeah.
anybody fan or who is trying to take a similar path can hear those stories and you know, if they're Mexican, be like, man, fuck, I'm Mexican too. I there too. So
Yeah.
that's my hope anyway with Skin Kids, because I can't mentor everyone, but it's like I try to keep honest in the content that I create, and if you ask me a question on my show, I'll tell you this, man,
Yeah.
and this is what happened.
Yeah.
Thought it was all good, but it wasn't, like fuck. So.
And I was like, you're kind of a different personality online sometimes.
Yeah,
Like, because you got like less patience from dumb motherfuckers.
I do.
online.
On the internet, I do. I'm just like, fuck. Like it is. Like I don't know. And maybe it's just because I'm more passionate about the written word.
Yeah.
I can speak whenever, however, but it's like if I'm taking the time to put letters together into words in a sentence, like
Sometimes I feel bad for the people who comment on your shit because you're just so short with them. I'm just like, why do they bother commenting? Like,
yeah,
you have to know what you're getting yourself into. Because I swear I've seen you say something like, "That's cool." Cry like a bitch on your way home on your own page or something like that. I'm just like, oh my god, like
cry
there's
around
no
on your
sense.
page. Yeah, it is. Like, and some certain cases too, I fucking know that guy and he is fucking crying around. It's like whatever, bro. Post that on your wall. But sometimes it's a stranger, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know you, and I don't really like you. I could give a fuck what you have to say, dude. And usually they'll delete me. So I don't know. I'm not a super prick, but it's like I don't want negative energy, TJ, electronically or otherwise. It's like, nah, man, I want cool people around me, and these cool people can say negative things towards me. Like if they had a bad day or if they think I'm fucking up, then that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's fucking strangers, I don't care what you think. Know? Unless it's responding to my art. Like this song sucked. I'll take that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at least you shared it and took the time to listen to it and comment on it, because I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I'm kind of an asshole sometimes.
It's funny though, because everybody, that's the beauty. You got to run your page how you want to run your page.
Yeah.
And I was get a kick out of it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Because it is. I try to write like I talk. You know what I mean? And a little bit more cuss words when I'm talking to you guys on the phone or something, but I try to write like that on Facebook too. So my teachers always tell me that, like, your tone of voice is like the way you're right. I'm like, all right, try to write like I talk, like when you're asking me like what's it's dialect basically.
Well, yeah. And now I read it totally different in complete comprehension. I was like, all right, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it. I love it.
Or in it, it's like right. I'm like, it's I am from the res, TJ. Some of these words are just gonna be with me forever.
No, it's always interesting. Like, so I mentioned a couple of times to you, at least when I moved to Wisconsin, and I linked up with a group from NIDA.
Oh, that was the trap.
Yeah.
All right, cool. They were rappers too.
No, I don't think I knew any that rap. I dated a girl, which I don't actually think she was from Oneida. She was from something else.
Okay.
But she had some cousins that rap. But no, like just all kids that some of them play basketball, some of them just like listen to. That's where, man.
Where?
I swear. Thugs and Harmony on that reservation. I'll tell you what.
We like Bone Thugs on my reservation.
Yeah. That was always different to me because it was a whole different experience of American culture, and of course different tribes and everything. But here, like we talked about, it's different. It seems like the Native Americans, the majority that I meet out here, represent more of the Black culture.
Yeah.
And over there, complete opposite. It was like they were understanding of their culture and their background and their tribal, their ceremonies, their powwows, their recipes, their stories, their elders, their respect, things like that. It was huge, and I fell in love with it because, one of my good friends out there, Darwin, his grandfather passed away, and remember their thing was burn for 7 days straight, and somebody always had to be at the fire, so they would take shifts basically to make sure the flame burned for 7 days straight. And
that's tight.
I remember he had his shift,
Yeah.
And we're 17 years old, and he's doing all this, but he was to it because he respected it all so much, things like that. And they treated me like family, bro. Like they let me
Yeah.
come to everything. I remember being there with him for one of his shifts and just being silent, bullshitting around the fire, and it was just all about keeping the energy alive for that fire for 7 days. It was cool.
Hell yeah, that's tight, man. Oneida, man,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, it was fun. I'm gonna get.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Hey man, is there any leftovers in there? They're IPA ish. I'll have one of those. Yeah, for leaving the beer in the fridge. While we're waiting, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell everyone to please check out Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit podcast on Spotify. You guys are on Apple Music too, right, TJ? Not yet. Spotify and YouTube. Spotify and Google Podcasts. Good looking out, man. Okay. So yeah, that thing too. I always liked Mexican folks from when I was in college. They always invited us to their functions and try to turn us at the door because there was a couple Mexican fraternities and it just felt good. 'Cause every time it was a white fraternity and sometimes the black fraternities too. They'd be too cool,
Yeah,
to let us in. And cool, yeah,
yeah,
like all the time.
yeah. That's why I've always been so proud of my Mexican culture. It's like it's always been such a welcoming thing. I've had a cool experience in Milwaukee, um, with the black culture. I had a name Dre, and out on what was it, like 32nd and Garfield in Milwaukee, and it was the blackest neighborhood I've ever been to,
Yeah,
and so different. And I went there with a white boy to meet up with our homeboy who was black that lived there,
yeah,
and my white boyfriend, man, he was like,
yeah.
this is my dream, like,
All these
yeah,
girls.
like to
Look at
be
all these
here, like,
girls.
because he
Yeah,
wanted to be black, and he was one of those white guys. And it's more nervous because I was like, neighborhood, I'm in a
yeah,
whole different area. I was like, the my family's from in California,
yeah. It's
they don't
not
get along with
with black
blacks.
people. Yeah,
So I was
brown
like,
and black
I was
is.
like, this is gonna be
Yeah,
different. Like, do they feel the same about me? Am I intruding? Like, how's it gonna go?
yeah.
Very different. But no, man, they were so fucking dope.
That's cool,
So
man.
welcoming. Like, but it was different. It was funny because it's funny you see how much like we actually have in common with different cultures. We walk in, very loving brother, sitting there. He's got like 8 cousins, uncles that all live in the house. They're just all hanging out at the house. Fucking family dinners. It was different. They cook different food than we do, but it's
Yeah,
same fucking structure, same fucking line of chain of command, respect for mom. She runs the shit. She tells you to do something, you fucking do it. You
yeah,
fucking, it was cool. It was fun. And then we got to explore the fucking city with him.
yeah,
And then it felt more comfortable because it was his city.
yeah. Hell yeah.
But Milwaukee was a trip. I don't know if you've been there,
I
but
haven't. My homie Leotis and his little brother Loan lived out there for years, a couple years, I
yeah,
think. So
that place it can be, that's for sure.
I kind of heard a couple
Yeah,
stories too
yeah.
about
But it was definitely fun. We I got to learn about the prostitution game out there that night, and
Oh, really?
yeah, that was some fun times because like
Yeah, it
just seeing the
is.
different workers out there, like one of them clearly a dude wearing a diaper,
Yeah,
and apparently people have a thing for that, bro. Like it's
that's
just
fucking
like,
crazy, man. Yeah,
it was interesting. It was fun though.
yeah.
Memories for it, for real.
It was weird too because sometimes girls would cycle into the club you're DJing at, and they're from out of town, and I'm like, "Do you like to party?" And I'm like, "I smoke weed." You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And then after that, they'd say it's 200 for the hour,
yeah.
and I'm
Just
like,
smoke weed.
and I didn't understand at first. They hit me with that a few times before I asked somebody, and they're
Yeah,
like, "Man, they're selling it,"
yeah,
and I was like, "What do you?" Oh, like I
yeah.
was pretty naive coming from my
Yeah,
regular
well, the
life shit.
lingo's different
It
in
is.
Milwaukee. It was, "Are you doing something?"
Like
It's a,
yeah.
yeah. He's like,
Um,
he just roll down the window and ask if she's doing something. I was like,
uh,
What do you mean if she's doing? He's like, just say it. That's what. Just say it. I'm like, so we pull up, roll down the window. I go, hey girl, trying to act all like I know what's going on. I'm like, hey girl, you doing something? I'm fucking 17, a little fucking douchebag, and she looked at me and she just fucking nods her head, yep. And I'm like, oh shit, it works. It worked.
Yeah, fucking A, man.
And it's funny learning that shit because, and like he would say, you want to go get in traffic, and I'm like, where would we? Like, nowhere. You want to go in traffic?
Yeah.
I'm like road trip, like, but that was his lingo for just go out. Let's just go out and figure something out to do it. I was just like, okay, learning it all.
Yeah. So, I guess, fuck, we're at it out already, TJ.
Oh yeah, we are.
Go for like 10 more minutes. Is there anything you want to promote or pump up and let it run as a bumper, you know, for anybody listening?
Yeah,
Beers and bullshit podcast. Like, give them your spiel, man.
Yeah, just hopefully we get some more listens over to Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit. We're on Spotify. That's our biggest one right now. We're on Facebook. I think it's under BBB Podcast. You know, Instagram Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit Podcast. Yeah, we're fresh, we're new, we're starting up, and we're just trying to keep them on. So, I host the show with my boys On One and Big P, and doing music together for many years. So we venturing into this, and hopefully it's the beginning of a long journey.
No doubt. Same, man. It's a long grind, TJ, but it's a fun one, man. Yeah. And then also, can you talk about any tentative date for your music releases that you're working on currently?
Yeah, so my plan is to have them both done toward the end of fall. We'll see how that goes. On how much I really get moving, just because I wasn't expecting to find another love in my life, and it being the podcast. But definitely by the end of the year, I'm hoping to have both projects done and out and released. And
Christmas.
Yeah, at the latest. My goal is Halloween.
Okay.
So,
all right, cool. Man. So, anything else you'd like to add, man? Any ideas or anything else you want to promote before we do our outro dance?
No. My album Ambivalence is still freshly new, so you can catch it on all that shit. Spotify, iTunes.
Check out Joker featuring DeColes, and then Steady on the Grind with Big P.
Yeah, the Grind Part 2.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah, but that song's tight.
Yeah, I love that. We're talking about doing possibly a video. I want to start getting some more visuals done. So, it's tough. I don't know a lot of videographers, so I'm playing with my iPhone and things like that, trying to figure, because I don't like relying on others. So
I'll let you borrow my gimbal for a week.
Oh, you got some stuff, huh?
Yeah, you just use your phone. It's like a steady cam, dude.
Oh,
like your phone probably shoots in 4K. It's just, I wouldn't recommend editing in 4K. You need a fucking badass computer.
Okay.
So just in regular 1080p.
Okay.
You could shoot in that steady cam. Like it looks good, bro. You know
oh yeah.
And it's got, so you just zoom with the wheel.
Oh, okay.
You don't ever touch your phone. You just.
Oh shit.
It's pretty cool. I'll let you borrow for a couple
2020,
weeks, man.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, it's only like $100 too, so it's pretty cheap investment.
Yeah, I'd love to test run it.
For being able to create content pretty good.
Oh yeah. I appreciate you having me on here, man, to promote my shit on your shit, man. I love it because I think you had, like we said, you had me on your shit before we even had shit. So I fucking loved it, man. You were definitely one of the people who inspired us to do it.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me broadcast at your spot.
Oh yeah, made it easy for me.
Yeah, man. It's been a good show, and then anytime you want to come back, man, like when you drop the music projects.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. And then if you get a super high profile guest and it gets 1 million views or 1 million listens, then come on the show after that to talk about it. You know what I mean? So.
And I'll send that book to you when I finish it.
Yeah, dude. Any kind of rough draft script, anything, dude. I'd love to give feedback.
Actually, off air, I'll brainstorm with you a little bit, let you know what's going on with it.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen, for the episode with TJ. My bad, True Justice. I'm gonna do my outro dance. This was the 72nd episode of Concerned Dabs podcast. I was your host, KDM King. Our guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, George Lopez, aka Honcholo, aka True Justice, aka TJ Regalado from Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit Podcast. Please check those guys out on Spotify and on Google Podcasts, on more platforms in the future. Also, check out his new albums in the future before Christmas titled
Veritas Equatas and A Moment of Truth.
Yes. And then follow Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit on all social media platforms. Follow True Justice on all social media platforms. Please get on, give it a listen. And if you're really about it and you're old school like me, cop that disc, man. I all gotta give a shout out to my guys in production, Mitchell Wilson and Jesse Curry. This has been a Main Node and Joseph Street Enterprise production. Rock and roll, son.